everyone, it's Francine Commeignes here of Blu-ray Paintings and
Simone Parker of Embark. And
I'm Sarah Wing of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts.
Beautiful. And we are three intuitive artists who have come together to help you to unlock, unveil, and liberate your creative self-expression. So that creative part of you that is so unique and divine. And we are offering different activities and workshops in order to help you to really express that in your unique and divine way. So we have 4 workshops over one course, which is called Awaken the Artist. From Lightswitch to Lighthouse. Sarah, how did we get that name?
I'm a fan of language and alliteration and fun with communication.
It's a perfect name. We all agreed on it. So coming together, how did this happen?
I'll jump in here. So Francine, I guess it started with your connections with both Sarah and myself separately. And yeah, you feeling the call to bring us all together. And after that first meeting where we just connected and connected on all of our journeys and where we're at, and then presenting us with this beautiful idea that we bring all of our creative forces together to build this beautiful series. And I guess for me, my connection with you, Francine, I am based in Perth, Western Australia, and through a mutual friend, we had the wonderful opportunity to connect several years ago and have been in contact since. And so, yeah, I guess that's how we connected, and has, you know, our relationship has evolved. And Sarah, do you want to jump in and just share a little bit about your connection with Francine?
So I connected first with Francine at an artist meetup in California, and it was very clear that that was the reason that I went to that meetup.
Me too. We never went back.
Never, and I had a beautiful connection made right before I moved back to Michigan. So divinely timed meeting, perfect timing, and just that soul meeting.
So beautiful. And the 3 of us, it seemed like we just came together feeling this energy in the world of that Aquarian age coming into play, that beautiful energy of creativity and connectivity and collaboration, community. And what we're offering from our unique journeys is, it seems to be just that perfect synchronicity of bringing people together to play and to explore themselves and discover more and more about themselves. So let's talk a little bit about the courses that we're actually, the workshops that we're actually offering. So there's 4 workshops, 2 hours each workshop. I will be running the first one, and then Sarah will be running the second one, and Simone the third one. And then in the 4th one, all 3 of us will be playing, and we don't really know yet what will be happening in that one, but it will be fun. So would somebody like to share the dates?
Yeah, I can jump in there. So I guess from a Perth perspective or Australian perspective, we'll be running the course on a Saturday morning, so 8 a.m. Perth time, 10 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. And it'll run on Saturday, the 2nd of September, and then the following 3 Saturdays after that, so finishing on Saturday, the 23rd of September. So that's for Australian time, and in the US, it'll run on your Friday evening.
Yeah, I have the dates here actually. So the first one starts for California time, 5 p.m. on the Friday, the 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd of September, which would be, Simone, the Saturday, the is my maths, 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd. And they're the morning, Perth early morning. Sorry, guys. And Sydney, a bit more reasonable time. And then same for Michigan. You guys are 12 hours apart. So it'll be 8 p.m. Michigan time and 8 a.m. the following day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll post those up on our social media sites and share a little bit more about that. And if anyone comes from different places, they can check that on the date. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. The course overall is called Awaken the Artist. So the intention is to really help you to dive into that creative part of yourself that maybe you've been hiding, or maybe has been thwarted throughout, maybe from childhood, or maybe you've got secret materials in your cupboard that you haven't pulled out for a long time, or maybe you buy a lot for the kids, but you don't let yourself play with them. So this course is not necessarily about, learning a lot of skills, although you will experiment with certain things. It's more about exploring yourself and your creativity. So we're not going to ask you to buy a lot of fancy materials. You can bring out what you have, or there is a list of things. So each person will share, each facilitator will share what would be good to have in their one. Does anyone want to jump in anywhere there? Not about the materials, but about anything before we run through the actual course?
I would just say that, it's called Awaken the Artist, which I just want to emphasize there is this openness and soft feeling to that. This isn't the agenda of the artist, or, there's no project or in mind that needs to be completed by the artist. This really is an opening, and hopefully an opening of the heart, a lightening of the mind. When we talk about creative play, we think of the inner child a lot, and it is an opportunity for your inner child to express and run with joy, but also your adults to stand in their own authentic creative voice and experience, and express that more and stand more courageously and proudly behind that, as your grown self.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And with your higher self.
And with your higher self.
All as one. Yeah.
I had chills when you were explaining that.
That's really
yeah, I just wanted to jump in and I guess say, for me as well, it's about dissolving those barriers. So often we can, have these high expectations of ourselves. And I think I go like this, we put ourselves in a box, in terms of we need all of these materials and all these things, and I don't have this and I don't have that. And so this is about actually really simplifying it and bringing it down to, a really small number of materials that you might need, or just creating the space to be able to play and to dissolve those barriers to letting out our creativity.
For me, it was about perfectionism, and that came up a lot even doing this course, like bringing together certain things. I realized I was going over things a bit too much, and sometimes it's like just good enough, and letting ourselves give permission to ourselves to be just who we are, just turn up as we are, basic stuff, and play and together and have each other. So this is going to be a very sacred and safe space for people to play and explore themselves. in friendship too, in connectivity and yeah, lightness, as Sarah said, that lightness of heart. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, session 1, workshop 1, which will be on the 31st of September here in California, and the 1st of September, 31st of August here, and 1st of September.
1st of September.
Yeah.
Sorry,
1st of
1st of September in California and 2nd in Australia. Thank you. I should not be the one talking about time zones. So I'll be doing the first one, and I will be introducing my one, which is called Alchemy of the Heart, or Artistic Alchemy. And it is very much about a heart-centered, becoming heart-centered and coming and expressing ourselves from that core space, from the sacred heart. So I'll be guiding you through a number of activities, some quite light and fun, and then just gradually getting a little bit more inward. So I'm an artist, and I paint mostly acrylics, sometimes oils. I paint soul light portraits. I also paint the Ascended Masters and the Goddess. So those energies that I feel reflect back to us the beauty and the wisdom and the creative life force within us. And I teach a course called Deep Remembrance on channeling. So I teach channeling and light language, and I also help people to really, over private mentoring, to really find themselves, to really discover who they are and what they're not, all that stuff that's packed onto us. So my workshop, the first workshop, Artistic Alchemy, will be kind of incorporating a little bit of deep remembrance into creative play, so that you find out more a little bit about yourself and let that intuition flow however it wants to flow. No judgment on anything, just letting that be free. And yeah, explore your creativity in that way, but in a very heart-centered way, which I'm sure all of it's going to be. So I think that's for my workshop. You can bring along any materials that you want. So if you have paints and you want to dabble, bring it along. If you have a watercolor palette, that would be great. And a brush to play with, and a little bit of water. If you have a black pen, that would be great. Some paper, and maybe some colored pencils or oil pastels. It really doesn't matter what you have and what you bring, because I'm going to be focusing mostly on color, like intuitive play with color and line and geometry. So however you want to play with those concepts is completely up to you. Yeah, so that's Artistic Alchemy. Week 2 is Sarah Wing of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts.
Yeah, so week 2, the workshop is called Do You See What I See? And that really is the question. So it's a storytelling activation, and it's something, as we were talking about perfectionism earlier, there will be no time whatsoever for perfectionism. This is going to be very fun. It's going to activate your voice and your authentic voice and what you think, and not give you enough time to second guess that voice, and not want to, because you're going to get you'll be writing some descriptions, but you're going to get a lot of visual cues, and it's going to be kind of fun, shifting Mary Poppins bag of what's going to come out next, and what do you think about that? What do you think about this? And but it really, at its core, at its heart, is to activate your personal storyteller, your self-expression. And it's through these silly, playful ways in this space that could not be more safe. So the opportunity is to just launch the silly out, launch the accidentally deep insight out, invent a crazy story, share a crazy story. And then as soon as that's done, another crazy story. But it really is about engaging with your authentic awareness. And that old expression, no two people walk into the same room. Well, they don't, you know. There could be a yellow couch, and to someone that's a marigold couch, and to someone that's the couch they grew up with, and to someone else it's the couch they covet, or it's the ugliest couch in the world. But all these are valid, all of these are true, and by reacting to different visual cues and the alchemy of this space shared by other creative, heart-centered souls. As I'm holding this quartz crystal right now, it really is going to activate like that. It is going to be an activation of all of the alchemy of these heart-centered beings, of all of their truth being expressed. And energetically and interactively, you're going to feel and hear those truths and feel that encouragement, and in ways that it'll help unlock little seeds of that trust and self-trust that you can take into the world and maybe respond to something when you think, well, no one else is going to see it that way. It doesn't matter. It matters how you see it, because your well-being is vitally important. So that's what we're looking to do in workshop 2.
It's beautiful.
Then in workshop 3 with Simone.
Beautiful, thank you. So I just love even hearing us talk about our offerings, and just for me, hearing how they all connect in. It's just, yeah, I love it. So mine is a journey of wholeness. That's what what workshop number 3 is called, and it's around creating and painting a mandala. And so again, with the theme is, you know, not needing to have all of the perfect materials and things like that to create. And so if you've got paints, bring them along. If you've got, you know, colored pens and pencils and things like that, bring those along. And whatever you have, we will come together and create your unique mandala, which is about creating your story within a circle. And so I have been holding space for groups to paint mandalas for the past 5 years, and no 2 mandalas have ever turned out the same. And that is what I truly love about the process of creation, is you know, bringing out your inner self into art, and yeah, telling your own story within a circle. There's incredible symbolism when you look at the colors that you've chosen, when you look at the shapes that you've chosen and what those shapes symbolize. And so this is about you know, not needing to have all of the things, but using what you have in your house to still connect and bring all parts of you together into one circular form, being the mandala. And so yeah, I'm encouraging you to, and even through my own process of thinking, how can I bring these workshops that I usually run in person in my workshop space, how can I bring that online? And so it's been a process for me, and I encourage you to come on this journey with us to, you know, let go of all the expectations and that perfectionism of needing to have things a certain way. And, you know, my instructions are going to be, you know, bring a bowl or a plate, you know, bring a piece of paper, you don't need to have compasses and all of those things. You can just create using the household items that you have. You might find a leaf that has a beautiful shape that you can then trace on, you know, your mandala. You might have some coins or some candles, you know, whatever comes to mind that you think, well, that's a nice shape that I want to you know, bring out in art, in an art form. And so yeah, my workshop is around that connection to self through the process of creating a mandala.
Sounds so beautiful. They both sound so exciting. I can't wait to They're to come. It's like I'm hearing some themes as we're talking and sharing, because we haven't done this before. And just that whole idea of being the creator of our own reality, of our own story, of our own life in a sphere, because everything is in spirals. And also talking about perspective, you know, like the different perspectives in the hologram, looking at things from your unique perspective, from the journey that you have traveled and everything that you have done in your life, all the accumulated wisdom, the accumulated stories in this moment, and then looking through the eye or the eyes at life and expressing that in a creative way, in a way that where you liberate and find that freedom to be you, that unique part of just you. There's no one like you, and expressing that and not needing permission, not needing, you know, not allowing judgment, just standing in your truth, like you just said. I just love it.
Yeah, that just brought to mind for me is for many years as I was creating and doing all different types of art, it was, you know, it's a long journey. It's a process for everyone in their own creative process. But so much of it for so many years was really about an outcome and how it would be received or perceived by others, packaged for other people. And it took me a very long time to find my voice, that came through the intuitive art. But it came from a place of from me, for me, that I never experienced before, which is the kind of workshops that we're offering. It really is from you, for you. And I think that's really important because personally, just from my experience, I know that can be quite a journey to go on. And for people who are very sensitive souls, who are people pleasers, we spend a lot of time from us for others, and it can get very unbalanced. So I love that everything that we're providing these containers is from yourself, for yourself.
Yeah.
Which can be hard to sit with. That can be a really big first step too, but it's in such a lovely, safe, I mean, could not be a safer space, which is so important, I think, for sensitive souls. It's such a safe space. Yay.
Yeah. Finding that balance between giving and receiving, and allowing yourself, like this course, you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be, you know, you may not have done much lately, although you're always the creator of your reality. So it's not about that. It's about just allowing yourself the balance of taking that time for you and that presence for you. Sorry, Simone, I think I cut you off.
No, that's exactly, I'm just, even as we're talking, all of these themes that have come up in my work recently, you know, it's just all connected, and that's what I just love, the connection piece, and that giving yourself permission, allowing yourself to receive, doing something for yourself is so important. And so I just love that we've come together to offer this to the world.
Amazing. Sarah, I have a question for you about intuition, because you are a beautiful intuitive artist, and I've seen your work, and I encourage anyone to go and have a look at it. It's just divine, as are Simone's beautiful mandalas, which are never the same. How would you explain to somebody intuitive art?
Oh, how would I explain intuitive art? Well,
your process of intuitive art, maybe.
Well, I think I really would want to speak generally about intuitive art, because intuitive art is so broad. We're all intuitive artists here as we gather for these workshops. And I think it really does come down to the from you, for you. Like, it has to start from a deep well within. And I think it starts with that connection that is a trusting of your heart's wisdom. And then what I feel is a natural thing to happen is then the connection to your divine channels. So connection to, it could be the language you receive from angels, guides, or what have you. It could be the language and energetics that you download and receive from nature. It could be kind of the inspiration and cleansing and re-energizing you receive when you allow yourself to have downtime and solitude. And then when you sit and do whatever kind of intuitive art you're doing, it's done, for me, it's done without hesitation. There's no question. It's in terms of a sense of channeling or something coming through. It's absolutely just getting out of the way, meaning not second guessing. There's no perfectionism. It really is trusting in the next thing to fall in, to come in. For me, it's never questioning, where is this going? I trust I'm being told. I trust with every color, with every brush stroke, that this is exactly where I need to be. And I know how I feel in a sense of, I'm not negotiating. I'm not full of anxiety. I'm not questioning. I'm not worried about where are we going? Because if I'm creating from that birthplace of from me for me, if I'm doing these negotiations or, hey, where are we going to get? That tells me I'm filtering it through my ego, and it's time to kind of step back and integrate and reflect on what that is. I think I don't know. I've never really had like the very
perfect. It sounds very much how I teach channeling too. So how like light language or some sort of energy comes through, you have to take it like the magician one at a time, let that first part come out and then trust that the next one will flow as it goes. And you're not going to see the end result up front. It's going to be that process of unfoldment and curiosity and a little bit of awe thrown in. That sounds really
Yeah, I could everything that you were saying, Sarah, it completely relates to the mandala painting process for me as well, because I'm always telling my participants to not think about the end product. I don't want you to come with a planned mandala that you want, that this is how you want it to look. I want you to go on the journey of step by step. We will do one thing at a time, and just in those moments you're thinking about what you want to do in that moment, not getting too far ahead of yourself thinking about the final outcome. So I love that explanation. Yeah,
really beautiful. It feels like we're helping each other and others to move into the moment, into the oneness, the 0 point, to discover that truth nature, the true divine nature. So we're going to be doing this recording. We're going to be doing it online through Zoom, and we're going to share the links for that upfront and as we go along, step by step. And then at the same time, Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about the Facebook group?
Yeah, so we're going to have a Facebook group available that we would encourage all of you to participate in if you're on Facebook. And that's just a group where you can kind of unfold and kind of post things that have come up when you're diving into that truth and authenticity. Maybe you'll post a painting that came through. Maybe you'll post part of a dream. Maybe you'll pose a question to others in the group. Maybe you'll pose a question to one of us. Just really having that space where as you're working through this unfolding, things are going to come up, and perhaps you can't turn to the person next to you or pick up the phone and call someone, but this group is a space or opportunity to put those things forth to a collection of people that understand why you're really excited, you know, that you thought about this, or that this happened, or, you know, so you'll have that space, if you'd like it, available to you.
Perfect. It made me think just then of The Artist's Way, that book that actually the three of us came together. That was the initial one.
That is it.
It was, we were going to come together to talk about The Artist's Way. I don't think we've even mentioned it at all. We just immediately got onto, that was the thing that brought us together. But then it was very, very early on that we realized, well, the first connection that we realized, well, I kind of realized, oh my gosh, this is three people, very, very similar thinking and with the same sense of service and love and alignment. So let's do something exciting with it. Now, Simone is our technical person. We called it the top of the pyramid. So Simone, do you want to share a little bit about the Zoom calls and the recording? You might know more than me.
I think you covered it in terms of, we're going to provide the links to the Zoom calls and record the sessions. So we will make those sessions available after, for those who, want to, revisit what we've gone through. I'm trying to think what other details there are to share, but just basically for people just to keep an eye on their emails. So once we'll pop the link in wherever, whatever channels we're posting this in, we will pop the links to the tickets. So there are tickets for those who need to purchase it in Australian dollars, and then tickets available for those who need to purchase it in US dollars. So there's two different links. So make sure you get, Sorry, I'm just saying it's the same event, just different currencies. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, exactly. And so we'll share those links. And then, once you've purchased your ticket, just keep an eye on your email so that you're up to date with, the materials that we'd like you to collect for each of the workshops, the links, and obviously, the link to that Facebook group that Sarah was just sharing as well.
Beautiful. And we might send out something just before our own workshops, just to, preliminary ideas or so forth. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I will. So if you are not available for all 4 sessions, that's perfectly okay, because they are being recorded. So if you can only attend 3, you'll still get the recording for the 4th one, and you'll be still part of the Facebook group, and there will still be the emails being sent back and forth if you're not on Facebook, etc. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, unless there's anything else to explore, who, what, why, when.
I guess if you're curious about this, if your energy is getting curious about this, if you're being called towards this, we welcome your energy, and we are immensely curious to see what alchemy gets stirred up in each class.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really, really beautiful. Very, very honoring spaces. It's going to be, and just a lot of fun. Very fun.
Yeah. Inspiration. Fun. Yeah.
And if you have any questions, then you can reach out to each of us individually on any of our social media pages, or by email, etc. So yes, we await any curious questions and are really excited.
Yeah. So if you check on the ticket, when we send the links through Facebook, Instagram, mostly those two, and email, then that Humanitics, we've chosen Humanitics, as Simone said, and that will have all the information, as well as a link to each of our websites if you want to explore a little bit more about what we each individually do, and maybe some YouTube videos and so forth that are also being shared. Both these people are very active on Instagram, so real well worth looking into it. So thank you for joining us today and watching this video, and we really look forward to seeing you and helping you to unlock your creativity and stand in that liberated freedom as the co-creator, the creator of worlds. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.